Greetings, YouTube. Today we're taking a look at a Collecta Protoceratops. Now, Collecta is not a company I had ever heard about before. So it's a Collecta right there, Collecta, Protoceratops, and this is from 2019, made in China. Real shock on that one. This is a wonderfully solid figure. Now, the scale on this would have been about 2 feet on the shoulders, 5 to 6 feet long, with the tail included. Gonna weigh up to 100 pounds, maybe a smidge more. So not a huge dinosaur, but still a dinosaur. Would be awesome to keep him as a pet. I've actually found stats for these for the Pathfinder First Edition game if you wanted to have one of these as your animal companion, and wouldn't that be awesome? And these are herbivores, so you wouldn't have to worry about having a difficult time feeding them. In this particular figure, also thinking of feeding, it has a jaw, and the jaw works really well, and they did an excellent job in there. They got teeth in there, the roof of the mouth looks good, the tongue's got a little bit of, liveliness to it. It's not just a piece of plastic molded to the bottom of the beak. And the beak itself is very cool. I don't know in the real world how much of an underbite you'd have there. I don't know. I'm not an expert. The eyes are very well done. The paint job on this overall is quite good. I like the coloration. Obviously, we don't know what the coloration would have been, but we do have an idea of some dinosaurs or what their skin texture is, and this really does, to me, come across as something that could have existed. I really like this tail. This tail is awesome. And one of the ways you can tell this wasn't a huge dinosaur is from the legs, because they're not very thick. They're not hippo or rhino thickness, which is when you get animals that size. This is thinner, so much thinner, more dynamic. So you're more in like I said, a large dog range for legs. And the feet themselves look quite cool, and it gives it and it has a lot of stability. And as you noticed, they included a butthole. Which, when I noticed, it just made me laugh. Now, showing a means of describing the quality of this is from 2019. So it's, at the time of the recording, 3 years old. Almost 4, because it's almost 2023. I bought this at a thrift shop for $1.49. And online, they're going from $20 and up. They're still, you can still buy these things. But look at this. I mean, this is in excellent condition. I mean, it was in the toy section. So in theory, some kid played with this. And yet it still looks awesome. The previous week I had seen a Protoceratops from 2005. And I didn't buy it because it was cool and all, but it was a very big figure. It was much bigger than this. And I'm like, I don't need it. Then I was at the same thrift shop the next week with my wife, because there's certain thrift shops I go every week. And I had described, I said, this is where I found the Triceratops, and as soon as I said that, I saw this guy lying on the same shelf in this almost exactly the same position. I'm like, I picked it up, I looked at it, saw the jaw, saw the really wonderfully dynamic pose, and I'm like, oh, screw this, I'm buying it. And it was the only thing I bought that day, and then I had to ask somebody to tell me how much it was cost, because there was no price tag on this. I think it was originally supposed to be in a bag with other dinosaurs, but this is big enough to really be considered a dinosaur in its own right. So I don't know what it was originally priced, but I paid $1.49 for it. So that's a real steal. And this has been sitting in the living room with me, so I can look at it and play with it while I'm watching TV, because it really makes me happy. I mean, look at that wonderful pose. That pose just looks like it's doing something. And they did an excellent job of conveying to me this as a living, breathing creature. And I really appreciate when a figure kind of brings a story with them. It doesn't just sit there like a piece of plastic. This, to me, is more evocative. And speaking of plastic, it is solid. It's got a nice heft to it. It is definitely not a hollow thing. So, absolute. If I ever come across any more Collecta figures, I'm probably going to do a little searching and see what kind of figures they do have available out there. It'd be something I would, most absolutely take a look at, because this is so well done. I am very impressed with this thing. So this has been a Collecta Protoceratops from 2019.